Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtadhara Shatashi Madesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtadhara Shatashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Take over the Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. Can you bring me Srimad Bhagavatam, Naveen, or someone, please? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Liberation, Chapter 4, Ambarish Maharaj offended by Durvasa Muni, and we're on text 66. Please repeat after me. Mai Nirbadha Hridayaha Sarava Sama darshanaha vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya satstriyaha satpatim yata Mayi nirbadha Mayi nirbadha hridaya sadhava samadarshanaha vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya satstriya satpatim yata Mayi nirbadha hridaya Sarva samadarshanaha Vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya Satstriya satpatim yata Mayi nirbadha hridaya Sarva samadarshanaha Vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya Satstriya satpatim yata All right, Joe, it's your turn. Any online devotees out there?
Mani nirbadha hridaya Sadhava samadarshana Vashe kurvanti mam bhakta Sat istriya satpatim yatha.
Anyone else out there who would like to chant? All right. Mai unto me. Nirbadha hridayaha. Firmly attached in the core of the heart. Saravaha. The pure devotees. Samadarshanaha. Who are equal to everyone. Vashe, under control. Kurvanti, they make. Mam, unto me. Bhaktya, by devotional service. Sat Shriyaha, chaste women. Satpatim, into the gentle husband. Yata, as. Translation. As chaste women bring their gentle husbands under control by service, the pure devotees who are equal to everyone and completely attached to me in the core of the heart bring me under their full control. Purport. In this verse, the word samadarshanaha is significant. The pure devotee is actually equal toward everyone, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 1854. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nashochati Nakangshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu. Universal brotherhood is possible when one is a pure devotee. Pandita Samadarshanaha. A pure devotee is actually learned because he knows his constitutional position. He knows the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he knows the relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. Thus, he has full spiritual knowledge and is automatically liberated, Brahmabhuta. He can therefore see everyone on the spiritual platform. He can comprehend the happiness and distress of all living entities. He understands that what is happiness to him is also happiness to others, and what is distress to him is distressing for others. Therefore, he is sympathetic to everyone, as Prahlad Maharaj said, Shodcheta tova mukacheta indriyarta maya sukhaya badram udvahatova mudhan. From the Bhagavatam 7.9.43. People suffer from material distress because they are not attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A pure devotee's chief concern, therefore, is to raise the ignorant mass of people to the sense of Krishna consciousness. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvanamaditam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Makam Karivachalam Pangam Langate Girimet Kripadamaham Vande Shri Gurindinitarinam Vancha Kalpadribhishcha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, translation again. As chaste women bring their gentle husbands under control by service, the pure devotees who are equal to everyone and completely attached to me in the core of the heart bring me under their full control. So the entire world is comprised of a lot of people who are very busy making plans. Everyone's making plans. Maybe some of us have some plans for today. We have a maybe general plan or specific plan. Maybe we have a plan for tomorrow. Maybe we have a plan for next week, next month, next year. Maybe a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, life plan. But everyone, ourselves included, throughout the world are making plans. Big plans. And when we look at the materialistic people, or the people who are not devoted to, or you could say the non-devotee people, as Srila Prabhupada explains that they are making big plans to try to adjust the miseries of life. And that was the case, that's the case now, that's going to be the case in the future, and that was the case in the past. They're making big plans to adjust the material miseries of life. So political plans, social plans, cultural plans, all to adjust the miseries of life. In other words, how to avoid them. And Prahlad Maharaj calls these people vimudhas. So mudha means foolish, and V is the intensifier, it means very foolish. And why is that? Because Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, that this world by nature, sorry, but Krishna's saying, not sorry, but it's about how we see things, which we'll get into more later. But this world by nature is temporary and full of suffering. So to try to adjust things materially is not intelligent. But still, we see that people are planning in this way, and they're struggling. This is the struggle for material existence. What is that struggle? The struggle for happiness. The struggle for peace and happiness, where it's just very difficult, or impossible, actually, materially. But they're struggling, plan after plan after plan, trying to adjust things and failing. And they're failing because it's not, they're going about it the wrong way. They're approaching the problem in the wrong way. It's a problem. We agree. It's a problem. It's people should be happy. We want people to be happy. Krishna wants people to be happy, right? Krishna is the supreme reservoir of happiness. Krishna is the reservoir of all rasa vaisaha. So Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. So Krishna is supremely happy, and he wants the souls to be happy. So it's a problem. So that they're not happy. So we accept that. We don't say it's not a problem. It is a problem. But piling on top of that problem, or adding to that problem, is that people are not approaching the problem properly. They're trying to solve it in the wrong way. Because material nature is designed in such a way, or exists in such a way, that material nature will not allow people to be happy. Actually, it's the opposite. The more they try to be happy without, like real happiness without Krishna, the more they suffer. Material nature is punishing in this way. That's her thankless task. So the idea is, without any assets in Krishna consciousness, one will definitely be very unhappy. So, therefore, an intelligent person, they tried to increase their assets, or increase their profit in Krishna consciousness. Just like people, they try to increase their assets. Hey, how many apartment buildings do you own? I own 5. How many cars do you own? I own 35. I was just reading how Srila Prabhupada was in India, and devotees were staying at one life member's house, and there was the wife, the husband, and one son, I believe. And guess how many servants they had? 35. Right? That's a lot of servants. And guess how many cars they had? They had 35 cars. Now, devotees were mentioning this to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, oh, it's very good. It's interesting, Prabhupada's comment. You wouldn't think Prabhupada would say it's very good. Prabhupada said it's very good. He said in this way I think he said they're saving in tax income. Instead of giving it all to the government, they spend it in this way, and then they employ all these servants. And better they're paying the people than paying the government, as Prabhupada said. So people want to have their assets. They want to have stuff, naturally, in a sense. So similarly in Krishna consciousness, we want to increase our bank account, or our spiritual bank account. We want to invest in that way. We want to save up. So all of the chanting that one is doing, the japa, all of Mangalartis one is attending, all of the prasadam one is taking. Of course, one should do this in a proper mood and with devotion and everything. But consider, if one is doing these things sincerely and seriously and to the best of their ability, then this is adding to one's assets in Krishna consciousness. It's building up. That credit is building. And as Srila Prabhupada explains how a foolish materialistic person can never be happy, he explains how a devotee is very happy. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam, this place is temporary and full of misery, that's the material world. But a devotee is very happy. And actually a devotee doesn't see it like that at all. I mean, they as Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Vishram Purna Sukhayate, that this world is full of happiness. It's just as good as Vaikuntha, just as good as the spiritual sky. Because there's so many wonderful opportunities to serve Krishna, to serve the devotees. So a devotee is happy, very happy, but simultaneously unhappy. So how is that? They're unhappy seeing the suffering of the living entities in the world, in the material world. And they do their best to try to help with that. By themselves living purely, by themselves becoming pure devotees. That's the best preaching, to become a pure devotee. And by practically trying to uplift the conditioned souls by various measures, by various means. And in this way, their samadarshana, they are able to see everyone in equal vision. They see these people as part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Vangsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, that they're all eternally part and parcel of Krishna, eternally intimately connected with Krishna. And this is the real platform, as Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, of universal brotherhood. So people sometimes may imitate that, but as Srila Prabhupada said, only a pure devotee or only advanced devotees could really be on that platform of universal brotherhood, because they see everyone as eternal servants of Krishna, spirit, souls, servants of Krishna. So it's the real platform of peace and universal love. In relation to universal love, Srila Prabhupada talks about, or Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions a wonderful personality in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by the name of Vasudev Dutt, which his kindness, his willingness to help others is just inconceivable. Just beyond, we just cannot understand his mercy. It's very amazing. Srila Prabhupada calls him universal love. He refers to Vasudeva Dutt like that, universal love itself. So, what was that? How was that demonstrated? He came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one day and he said, I have a desire. And he said, my desire is I want to liberate all the living entities in the universe. And he said, I want them all to be go back to Godhead, and I want to take all of their karma. I want to take all of their karma, and it doesn't matter if I have to go to hell perpetually. I don't mind if I have to suffer for them. Sometimes people don't want to be Diksha Gurus because there might be, and whatever, I don't want to. I don't want to minimize that because it is a very heavy thing to take people's karma. But you could imagine it's not just taking 500 people's karma or 1,000 people or 5,000 people or 20,000 people, but it's taking so many living entities, like innumerable living entities. So he was willing to do that. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this from Vasudeva Dutt, it really moved him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he told Vasudeva Dutt that with tears in his eyes, he said, "My dear Vasudeva Dutt, you don't have to do that." He said, "By your desire alone, all the living entities will be liberated." And that was the case. But you see how amazing Vasudeva Dutt was in that he was willing to do that. It's very powerful. And further, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "This is no surprise, because you're an incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj." And we see Prahlad Maharaj, the Prabhupada quotes in the purport, "Shoche tatova mukachetas indriyartha maya sukaya badam udvaha tova mudhan." That Prahlad Maharaj, he understood that without Krishna, without taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, no one could ever be happy. And factually, people are suffering. Prahlad Maharaj understood that. And he said, instead of going to the Himalayas to engage in my own personal meditation, Vimuktikami was like desirous of my own liberation, my own benefit, I'm going to stay, as Srila Prabhupada translates, in the busy cities and towns. Why? To give people Krishna consciousness. And he says that because without taking shelter of you, they could never be happiness. They can never be happy. So we have Prahlad Maharaj, you have Vasudeva Dutt, and you have Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj is incarnation of Vasudeva Dutt. You have one disciple of Prabhupada, Harikesh. He asked Srila Prabhupada one time about his mood. He said, "Are you in the mood of Prahlad Maharaj?" And then Srila Prabhupada said, "Yes." He said, "I'm always trying to deliver these," Prabhupada says, "fools and rascals." So, out of love, he's concerned with them out of love. Just as Prahlad Maharaj was concerned with them out of love, Vasudeva Dutt was concerned with them out of love, and Srila Prabhupada was concerned with them out of love. So we see the connection between Srila Prabhupada and Vasudeva Dutt and Prahlad Maharaj. Had so much compassion for people. They're really willing to sacrifice their everything really for the benefit of others. And aside from that being an amazing thing in relation to helping others, that's actually the platform of happiness for an individual if they're willing and able, and they actually do sacrifice themselves for others. And instead of making plans to adjust the material miseries of life, materially speaking, one should make plans to sacrifice themselves for the benefit of others, for the service of others in Krishna consciousness. And that's the real platform of happiness. And that's how we get the sidelong glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kaivalyam narakayate tridashapur akasha pushpayate durdan tendriya kala sarpa patali protkata dangshayate Vishwam Purna Sukayate Vidimahindradishcha Kitayate Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavavatam Tam Gauram Eva Stuma. Which means that for a devotee, the pleasure of merging into the existence of Brahman is considered hellish. So then personal goal, the soul merging with Brahman is considered hellish. Similarly, he considers promotion to heavenly planets just another kind of phantasmagoria. Sometimes examples given of like flowers in the sky or horse eggs. Horse eggs don't exist. So that going to heaven, and that's considered phantasmagoria. The yogis meditate for sense control, but for the devotees, the senses appear like serpents with broken teeth. Swami was talking about that, I think, yesterday or the day before. For one who gets the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the snake-like serpents of the senses become fangless or toothless. They don't cause us harm. The whole material world appears joyful for a devotee. And even great personalities like Lord Brahma and Lord Indra are considered no better than insects. So this is typical Prabodhananda Saraswati language. He has a number of books, very strong language. The demigods are no better than insects. It's Prabodhananda Saraswati, classical. Vishwam Purnasakayata, the whole material world is full of happiness. Such is the position of a devotee who has received but a small glance of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unto this most magnanimous personality offer my respectful obeisances. He's praying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if we learn the art of dedicating ourselves fully, we may not be able to do that immediately, but if we learn the art gradually of dedicating ourselves fully in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the service of the devotees of our spiritual master, then we'll get the sidelong glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we'll get all these wonderful benefits, as Prabodhananda Saraswati was describing here. One of benefits being that, the material world's stamped as a temporary place full of suffering, but one of the benefits, it's quite a benefit. Not that we're into being happy, right? But quite the benefit is that the whole world is full of happiness for a devotee. It's quite a amazing thing, actually. Such a miserable place, and then it's full of happiness. It's pretty. So yes, as Srila Prabhupada says, a pure devotee's chief concern, therefore, is to raise the ignorant mass of people to the sense of Krishna consciousness. So that's the chief concern of the pure devotee. And we may feel that, well, I don't have such a chief concern. Well, we know people who have such chief concern, and we should help them, assist them. Of course, Srila Prabhupada. But therefore, we need to learn the art, and that will be our success. All right. Does anybody have any question, comment? Yes, Dujamani.
Hi, Krishna. I have two short questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
First one is, you mentioned about the serpents without the fangs. What does that practically mean for a devotee when they're not biting us anymore?
Well, for example, people who have uncontrolled senses, they really get into a lot of trouble. So that may mean there's so many examples of people getting into trouble. Uncontrolled senses. Just like speech, for example. If you're able to control your senses, speech being one of them, then you have a chance of of actually having successful, loving relationships. If a person can't control their senses in terms of speech, then it's like relationships can be destroyed very quickly. Krishna conscious relationships as well. That's the whole principle of Vaishnava Aparad, that there might be an urge to say something, but we control that. And then we don't get in trouble in relation to committing an offense through our speech. So when it says that a devotee who gets the sidelong glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, means their senses are not causing them problems, like the sense of speech, for example. They're able to, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're able to control that. So in other words, they become Goswamis by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. That's Lord Chaitanya's movement. He takes people and makes them Goswamis. But whatever sense you want to think about, I mean, they could all cause problems. Like sometimes people have a hard time like controlling the sense of their tongue in relation to traveling all over the universe and having all types of different food, in which we would consider very abominable food. I don't know many devotees who struggle with that, but sometimes devotees do. Or whatever the senses are, attracted to, some type of mundane sound, for example. If you get the special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you're not attracted to mundane sound. It's quite distasteful. So like that, the senses become pacified, the senses become controlled, and therefore the analogy is usually the senses are like a snake that could bite us and be fatal. But the senses that when we get this special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our senses become pacified and controlled, and they don't cause us problems. That's the idea. Is that right?
Also, the special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a sidelong glance. Can you also elaborate on this and speak more about how to get that special mercy in relation to what you were saying, preaching and all that?
Yeah. Well, first we could come before Gornitai and here to serve. How may I serve you? Srila Prabhupada said in Vrindavan, he said, if you have some problems, you could go to Gornitai and say, my dear sirs, I have this problem. Can you please help? So yes, we want to take advantage of that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's here, Nityananda Prabhu's here, the form of the deity. And as Rupa Goswami says, it's one of the five of the most potent forms of devotional service. One is deity worship. So we shouldn't minimize that. We should take advantage of that and offer our prayers. And so that's one thing, our general meditation on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda in form of the deity, in form of their pastimes. But even further, we want to practically engage in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So everybody has a mission within the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we all have our own services in which we can try to help. So that might mean distributing books, or that might be cooking, that might be receiving guests when they come, might be keeping the place clean. There's so many ways that are actually all connected with the mission to help people get closer to Krishna. Just like you may be a very nice book distributor with a very nice smile. It's you. And be able to connect with a lot of people and so on, which that's true, that's you too. But then when people come, if the feast is like not so good, then that doesn't. Or if you, or we'll say it in a positive way. If the feast is like really good, then that encourages people, that helps people in their getting closer to Krishna. Or if they come and the place is like really clean, they say spiritual sky clean. That really helps people. Like, wow, this place is special. So in this way, there's so many things we could do to try to engage in the mission. Of course, we have time coming in December where devotees make a special effort to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, as many as possible. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So that's a special time to make plans to try to do that as well. And in this way, we could get the sidelong glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Simultaneously, we should be patient. We shouldn't demand that. To be patient. I've been doing so many things. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. And where's the sidelong glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? We have to be patient also, because things work on Krishna's time. We make it, so it's another thing. Any other, yes, Devotee Prabhu?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. This temple is unique in one way. And I realize now that it's a great advantage, because we have ladies in the temple usually in kirtans, especially now we have our nice brahmacharinit. And so we can't stand past this, it's divided. So if you're over here and Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya and you're seeing Lord Chaitanya, then if you're looking for the glance you're going to get is the sidelong glance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very advantageous.
I see. You're getting the sidelong glance because you're standing.
You can't see them straight on.
You're standing on the right side. Does that mean they're not getting the sidelong glance?
No, they have to come over here. We just stick them up.
Well, yeah. Who made this rule that the men on the right side, women on the left side? Anyways. Maybe the men on the left side, women on the right side, right? I don't know. I'm not sure how that happened, but of course there is a special mercy in that on the left side all the women are standing in front of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda. It's a very special mercy as well. So, all right. Any other question? Online? All right. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.